movies, retro gaming, and the C-section, plus much, much more tonight here in the movie library. Welcome to the movie library, and hopefully within a couple months there's going to be a buffer with an opening in between when I say something like that and we actually go right into the crux of it all. That's something I'm looking forward to. Now, I'm going to get the retro gaming stuff out of the way because I know a lot of you on here pretty much watch mostly for my movie content, so we'll get to the movie stuff actually really quickly. Actually, I'm going to do the retro gaming, I'm going to have a C-section, then I got some movie stuff to talk about as well, and we'll talk about the upcoming Versus video. Anyway, so about a week ago, I went out on around my birthday, and I decided that I wanted to pick up something at the Atomic Records. I had 20% off coupon there, and when I went there, I picked up an NES system, a Nintendo Entertainment System. Unfortunately, there were some issues with the system, but the guys at Atomic are really great, and they're actually working on getting that fixed up for me. So when I do have that, I'll let you keep you guys updated. So just for the record, for me right now, I have the NES. I'll have the NES once it's all fixed. Super NES, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii U, Nintendo's, and of course for the newer stuff, Nintendo Switch, and of course, and also the PS4 and the Xbox One. But you know, that's newer stuff. But on the handheld front, what I showed you guys my DS Lite, which I picked up recently, and before that I had the GBA, the Game Boy Advance, which was the original purple one, which was given to me by my kids. So I was able to go out and find this right here, the original Game Boy. Works fantastic, and I actually got a game that I really like playing on it, and I'm very addicted to. Actually, I play it a lot when I get time. That is Super Mario Land. So it is super cool to have both these. Now again, I remember I was a late comer to the Game Boy. I mean, like, I'd seen them around, and I wasn't one of those people that was playing it a lot, to the point where basically I held off. And full disclosure, I had like anxiety issues when I was a younger guy, and the Game Boy actually was one of the things that I used to actually get me out. What I'd do is I'd take my Game Boy. I bought a Game Boy, and I was at EB Games, which is kind of like GameStop, except for Canada, and there was a bin, and in this bin was this Game Boy, and it seemed to be like calling out to me. So I got it. And they had a bunch of like old Game Boy games there, and the one that I picked up was Pokemon Yellow, the Pikachu one. So I picked that up and I started playing it. And I used to find that I was nervous going outside, so I'd put in the Game Boy, put the game in the Game Boy, and I go and I play that. And before I knew it, I was like taking long walks all over Ottawa. So that was really, really cool. And I thought it was like so advanced with the Game Boy until I walked in on a bus one day and I saw this little kid sitting on the bus, like just a couple seats down from me, with the Sony PSP, watching The Amazing Spider-Man. And I knew maybe I wasn't as advanced as I thought, but still, I love it. I love the Pokemon games with the Game Boy, and I'm so super stoked to have this to my collection. Now, the other one that I want to get is the most recent one, which is the 3DS. I've got the Game Boy, which is the first iteration of the Nintendo handhelds. I've got the Game Boy Advance. I know there's a Game Boy SP and all that stuff as well, but I got like a Game Boy Advance. I'm good with that. So then I went on. I got the DS Lite. So what I would need to get, what I would have to find, and I had to be extremely lucky, like, because these still can cost a bit, or if you're really, really lucky, then you might find a 3DS in box out in the wild, and I did actually. This one had everything. All the AR cards were still there. All the Nintendo, like Club Nintendo code, and everything was packaged, still sealed up, along with the packaging and the book. It wasn't a booklet for this one; it was a huge ass book. And this is the pearl pink one. But you know what? I really dig this color. I got the lime green DS Lite, and I really like having this one here. And I do have a couple games. I bought some from the Virtual Console. Right away, I grabbed Pokemon Crystal. That's one I used to play a lot. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I'm not going to lie on that one. I got the original Zelda, so I got the Punishingly Hard Zelda, actually. And I got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, because I remember I used to play that one on the Game Gear system that I would like to pick up in the wild. Those are harder to find in good condition. And I grabbed one other game. Oh, yes, Harvest Moon 3. Harvest Moon 3 is a fantastic little game. A little bit of infamy in it, though. It's for the GBC, the Game Boy Color, originally. And the game you could play, first time you could play a guy or a girl. This was the first time you could actually do relationships in the Harvest Moon series, as far as I can remember. Now, if it's like I remember, if you played the girl, or if you played the guy, you could do your farm and you get married and you kind of keep on going from there. However, maybe it's a cultural thing. If you played the girl, once you got married, game's over. I'm not sure what that's supposed to signify, but that was the thing. I'm very, very excited to have this, guys. This is my third or fourth iteration of the 3DS that I've had. It's probably my favorite handheld of all time. I'm a big handheld guy anyway. I love my consoles. I'm on all the consoles. I'm on all the kind of different iterations of Nintendo. Now, from here on, once the NES, hopefully that gets fixed, I'll be looking towards getting a Genesis, a Sega Genesis, and then I want to get the other two handhelds that are kind of important to me, and that is the PSP and PS Vita. Now, there's one other that I would love to get my hands on, but I really don't think that that's going to be coming anytime in the near future, because anytime that I found it, it's been way overpriced, and that's the Virtual Boy. I've never owned a Virtual Boy in my life, and I've always wanted one. I remember going up to Blockbuster, and at the time I used to go up there. I used to rent VHS and stuff. One thing I rented that I really would love to get my hands on again. If I ever find this in a store, I'm definitely picking it up. It's the complete, like, the Godfather story, like parts 1 and 2, but it's done in chronological order, and it was in this big box set. Really love that. I watched that. I remember I rented that. And then I rented again, then I rented again. I rented a bunch of times. I'm a big fan of Godfather, especially that way. I really do like the chronological order way. And I bought my first Mystery Science Theater tapes up there. But what they had is my littlest, well, my oldest was little at the time, used to go there, and you go and you play Pokemon Snap. So she played Pokemon Snap. And meanwhile, I would go and look at the Virtual Boy. And I think it was like, there was a Mario game there. It might have been like a tennis game there too as well. They didn't make a lot of games for the Virtual Boy, but they had two that they had there that you could like play. And it was kind of like, it's supposed to be like a portable system, but you really got the stand, and it's kind of freaky. And I've always wanted it, but no luck. If I can ever find that, if anybody has that, says that my way, I am forever grateful, because that's something that's on a bucket list of things that I really want to have in my library. Hands down, that's one of the big things on there. I'm slowly looking for the retro stuff, and I came across. You're not going to believe the 3DS that came for an extremely, extremely cheap price, especially for an inbox 3DS in amazing condition. And so I'm going to turn this down, because you never want to get flagged by Nintendo. So even though you're pimping their stuff. Oh, would help if I hit the power button. See, that's kind of a good thing. So anyway, I got my Wii U in the room, because I got my Switch out in the living room. So as you can see, so I was playing you probably can't see from here. I was playing Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Now I'm gonna go back. You can see like the different. You'll see some different stuff I got on here, like, might help. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, because it's a bit of a glare. So, anyway, that's the Harvest Moon, released in 2001, Legend of Zelda in 87, Pokemon Crystal also in 2001. 2001's a good year for games, man. So, anyway, and I also put, like, Netflix on there, all that stuff. I don't think I'm going to watch Netflix on this stuff. But there we go. That's, little extended retro gaming section. I don't do these a lot, but now it's time for the section that you guys are all used to and that I really enjoy doing. So let's go over to my movie library and let's do the C section. Hi there and welcome to the C section. So I recently got asked actually where this came from or why I decided to do this. Well, what happened basically is that I always like to take the time to write down and give like typed out responses to all of my comments in my comment section, and I do that. But sometimes I can get behind on that. And I have such great, awesome people that comment on my videos that I thought that they deserved to be shouted out and to have their comments like highlighted every once in a while. It became a regular section on my videos, and it's something that I actually really look forward to diving into. I try now not to look at the questions or comments before I open it up, and afterwards I'll go and I'll make like a written comment as well. So I try to make the written comment different than what I've said here. Sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge, especially if it's like a pointed question. So who we got first here? Stephanie, excellent. Hashtag Team Last Jedi. Awesome. So Stephanie Crawford, if you guys don't, I never saw the other video. She is a amazing person. She does a lot of podcasts that I listen to. A lot of different. She's very active on the Twitter, or as Bully Ray would say, the Twitter machine. And she's just a really funny, really smart person. I always, whenever there's a podcast that she's in, I definitely listen to it. If you ever see her name, whether it's on Screamcast or one of the other podcasts, definitely check it out. Check out the stuff she does. Great gal. So she made a comment. Thank you so much for the shout out. I really wish I deserved such nice words. Thank you so much for listening. Time is valuable, and it's a crowded landscape on its chatterboxes. So it's really appreciated, especially since you know your stuff so thoroughly. Thank you. I hope things ends up in a time capsule. The idea of a future generation aliens happening upon that after the apocalypse and judging society on what's on there would be just great. Okay, things in pieces. Two of my favorites now, actually. That's what I want to represent humanity. It just feels appropriate somehow. It really does. See, pieces, they'll kind of think it's that'll come across like maybe North American European. It's going to cross. It's totally not. But it's going to come across like that to like a future generation, and like some weird subset out there that we don't even know about yet. And things is sadly going to be a representation of Canada, and obviously what all us Canadians are like. Check out Stephanie's stuff 100%. I'm serious. She's amazing. Hi, Aaron. Happy belated birthday. I've been busy. James R. I hope that you've been busy in a good way, and that it's because you're doing some really awesomely amazing things, or just working, and that brings in the money. So either way, that's still awesome and amazingly good. All right. So we got Chris here. So CH or Che, as I like to say it. Ultras. To me, Indicator would win easily. Also, I have all of the releases 10. Wow. You do? Till now, only one missing is the New Centurions. For some reason, it never went down to £14.99 on Amazon and sold out. Never thought that title would settle that quickly. I know they're starting to settle a lot quicker now. As Indicators grows more of a base, they're starting to the releases are really starting to settle a lot more quicker than they used to. They release quality titles with great special features, nice booklets, and amazing boxes. I totally agree. You can get the releases directly via Amazon UK for $14.99 worldwide. I can only get Twilight Time via their homepage for $30. That's one of the things that made me actually choose it. That's quite a number. Also, their shipping isn't quite cheap, so I only order from them during sales, where I can pick up a bunch of the titles at once. I did it during their last sale, and for about 3 days I thought the package was lost. The only support I got from Twilight Time was that they told me that what would happen quite often overseas, and there's nothing they could actually do, and no one they could contact in those cases. I paid around $200 for 9 Blu-rays with shipping and taxes. I had to contact the post office and German authorities all by myself to find out the package wasn't lost. It was at the German tax authorities. But the Twilight Time page showed it as delivered and completed, so if you ask me, it's a bit of a gamble with them, especially overseas. but I have to say I still quite like their release. Like that they released the type of films they do, and the package itself was perfectly safe and sound as it actually arrived at my place. If they would do like 2 big sales a year, which would be kind of predictable, like Barnes & Noble, Criterion sale at July and November, I would order more from them for sure. As always, greetings from Germany, and keep up the great new Versus series, Chris. Thanks a lot. I'm actually working on my next Versus as we speak. I've actually started into a new job, which has slowed some things down, but I'm trying to make sure that I keep up the pace and consistency that I'm doing the last little while. All right, Murdersville. You had to give kudos to Twilight for showing that the proposition worked. Limited editions. However, living in the UK, there is no contest indicator win every time. Cheaper base price and better extras, and most releases will have a cheaper standard release down the line. Hopefully, Twilight will rise to the challenge now that they have some serious competition. That's actually a really great point. Aaron, you mentioned another Linnea Quigley movie. It wasn't Witchcraft that you were thinking of, was it? Yeah, it was actually. She's only on screen for a short amount of time. I remember. Yeah, that's a Kevin Tenney film. But it's a fun movie, which I believe is also released through Vinegar Syndrome to Blu-ray. It is. I have Malibu High on DVD. Came with some other 70s exploitation flicks, and it's a blast to watch. And one of those movies that I can't read tonight. Blast to watch. One of those movies that once you've seen it, you won't forget it in a hurry. Lawrence D. Folds, who was involved in Malibu High, also directed. What is wrong with me tonight? The awesome vigilante flick The Young Warriors from 1983, which also featured Linnea Quigley and plays it pretty much like the critics state Death Wish Porky's combo. Interesting. Great update, buddy. Thanks. And it's David Bryant, of course. PD675 is here. Hi, PD. Hi, Aaron. Great video. Can I ask what's the best Laurel and Hardy movie said to buy? Well, honestly, I'm not sure. I have a couple of I have the 2 Fox collections. Now, those are not the best Laurel and Hardy films. They're earlier stuff. They're shorts and that's pretty much known to be like their best stuff. There's a couple really good Laurel and Hardy sets out there. So, in all honesty, Petey, I'm just reading this for the first time. So let me look into it, and I'll get back to you and see what I can find out for you. I love questions like that. Robert Harding, hey, how's it going? I have yet to sit down and check out things myself. It's on my list to be watched, but not super high. What's up, Robert? He's a great guy. And Robert, come on, do a review of things. I dare you. I dare you. Mark Stewart, hi Aaron. I did like Happy Birthday to Me. See, I knew you would. I knew it. See No Evil 1971 is a good indicator release. Also I got to get that one, actually. That one really does interest me. Indicator wins for me as they are more affordable. Both are great companies, though. Excellent. So I haven't got too hated on for picking Indicator as the winner. I was a little worried about that, actually, because I know Twilight Time does have a large fan base out there, and I tried not to say anything bad about them. I just was being honest. Aaron, I can't believe you're moving again so soon. Hank Sampson. It seems like just yesterday you were laying out your plans for your movie library and your current dates. It does seem like yesterday. Goodbye, Were Coyotes. Hello, faster internet. I can't wait. Dig out your Top Gun t-shirt if you have it. I don't. And on moving day, I feel the need for speed. I cannot wait to get moved. And Mark Stewart. Just as I actually did this, popped in. So great birthday, Hall Aaron. Indicator, a great company up there with Arrow Video. I gotta agree. And companies, I'll be honest with you, the UK companies, for a large part, are winning out over a lot of their North American counterparts. The one company that I don't see being touched on North America's side and on the UK side, Vinegar Syndrome has carved a niche for themselves that is unbelievable, and there's no one that quite does it like them, I don't think. That being said, Vinegar Syndrome is going to be part of the next Versus. And who's that going to be? I'll be right back. Vinegar Syndrome has done some completely off-the-wall, crazy movies over the years. Some stuff that I really, really liked, and some stuff that's very different. Stuff like Nightmare Weekend. Nightmare Weekend is one of those odd films that goes up there with movies like Things and Troll 2. Just one of those crazy films that I just really, really enjoy watching. And it was really hard to decide which company I was going to put up against Vinegar Syndrome right now. But at the end of the day, it came down to a couple, but the company that won out the daunting task against going up against Vinegar Syndrome in the next verses is a company that Vinegar Syndrome helped on a title not that long ago, and that is Severin. So in the next verses, Severin Films goes up against Vinegar Syndrome. Make your choice now on who you think's going to win, who you think should win, and get your guesses out there, because it's going to be another great versus with some great releases to look at. I'm back, and one thing that I have to say is that when you're looking through all the different titles, whether it be Arrow or Scream Factory or Vinegar Syndrome, sometimes with all these marquee and fantastic titles and expensive collector's editions and limited editions, we forget that there are some other companies out there, some smaller ones, that have been doing some great stuff with genres as well. Mill Creek is one of those companies. Mill Creek started doing a lot of like compilation sets, and they've come up and done a lot more, and they've come a long way over the since their start. They've come a long way. So what I wanted to do tonight is kind of just focus on some Mill Creek Blu-rays that I got. And I got them at the place where a lot of people get Mill Creek Blu-rays at dollar stores. You can find them at dollar stores. You can find them fairly cheap at your sometimes at your local Walmart, or maybe at I'm not sure if Target carries them there in the U.S. But yeah, there's a few different companies that carry the Mill Creek stuff. You can find them online as well. So I got some kind of neat little editions here of some of these I've been put out with special editions, which I've gotten since then. And some of these I just am glad to have in my collection. I'm glad somebody put them out. So let's check out some of the stuff that Mill Creek put out. Hint, a lot of double features in this. But the first one's not, and it's a fantastic film called The Legend of Billie Jean. This is one from my childhood. I remember the song Invincible by Pat Benatar that was used for this movie very, very well. Great one. Again, this is a special Fair is Fair Enough edition with commentary by Helen Slater and Yeardley Smith, right? Yeardley Smith, but of course otherwise known as Bart Simpson. Now Christian Slater has a role in this, a very big role. He plays the brother of Billie Jean. I really do like this movie. I love the soundtrack. It takes me back to my 80s teen years. And it's something that if you don't have The Legend of Billie Jean, it really is worth checking out. I think it's a really good little film, a little like kind of youth rebellion film. And especially with like the youth rise up of today. And I'm very proud of the youth of today, actually. And that they've really gone to the forefront. That's a way to go. You guys make me proud. Legend of Billie Jean, worth checking out. Next up are some double features. We're just going to go over these really quickly. Some stuff that I like here. And DOA and Consenting Adults. Two that I've wanted to, especially Consenting Adults. Consenting Adults is something that I guess now that it's a Kevin Kline film, but it's, I guess, controversial in the way that Kevin Spacey was in it. But it's an early Kevin Spacey film. And I did really like this film, actually. Consenting Adults, I like those type of thrillers. DOA was a fun film as well. It was a remake, of course, of the original film with Edmund O'Brien. But something about Consenting Adults always stuck with me. So as soon as I saw it, I snapped it up right away. I think it was like $1 or $2, something like that. Next up is two more of the thrillers, and they are Color of Night and Playing God. Now, I'll be honest with you, Duchovny's Playing God, I don't remember it that much really at all. I'd really have to rewatch it to even tell you anything on the film. However, Color of Night, I ain't ever going to forget that movie. It's different and unique and a bit crazy, and the twist is a bit out there. But you know what? I really dug this film. I'm not going to lie, I really did. Now, is this the unrated cut on here? Probably not. This is restricted, so that's the rated cut, right? But to have Color of Night at all until they can come out with a real special edition, and I would buy it, actually. Yeah, I'm glad to have that. Next up is one that I've upgraded with the Indicator edition of, but I'll love to see an Indicator, Scream Factory, Arrow video release of the other film. So there's Happy Birthday to Me, and that's got the worst cover for Happy Birthday to Me that you can imagine, and When a Stranger Calls. When a Stranger Calls and Happy Birthday to Me are both kind of exploitation films, and good ones. Pretty sure When a Stranger Calls is also kind of exploitation. You know, I'd actually have to look back into that, but I think it is. Is it? It's been a while since I've seen it. I really like both these films. When a Stranger Calls actually is a bit of a slow burn. It starts out really fast and gets really, really good and creepy, but then it goes into a lot of character development and kind of brings it down for some people. I actually really like it, but I've had people that have come across that have been really disappointed that the first 15 minutes of the film wasn't the entire film. And of course, with the When a Stranger Calls remake, they kind of went in that direction, and I think that's a lot of missed opportunity with what they did. But that being said, I really do like these two films. As you guys know, I have Happy Birthday to Me many times. I got the the Anchor Bay edition of it as well, and recently I upgraded to the Indicator one, which is the definitive Happy Birthday to Me release. If you don't have it and you're a fan of Happy Birthday to Me, you got to get it. Next up is fun little one, The Replacement Killers and Truth or Consequences. I'm a fan of I like them both. Replacement Killers I remember more than the other one right now. Let me see. But Truth or Consequences, Vincent Gallo. So it's probably one as if I turned it on, I remember it right away. But I'm not going to say it's going to stand here and BS you. I don't remember the that well right now. But I got a feeling I would if I turned it on. Next up is a pretty simple one, The Hollow Man and Hollow Man 2. Hollow Man, I thought was a really good movie. I think Kevin Bacon's amazing in most of the stuff he does anyway. And I did like The Following. A lot of people did not like that series. I'm one of the guys that was a follower. Oh, dad joke. Anyway, The Following's fantastic. The Hollow Man's fantastic. Hollow Man 2 with Christian Slater is also a film. It's a film. Next up is Mr. Sardonicus, Brotherhood of Satan. Actually, I think they did like a 3-pack with another film on as well. Again, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Sardonicus. Brotherhood of Satan is a fantastically hilarious film. I love these satanic films. They're so cool. Both these films are fun. Definitely a must-have. And last, but this is definitely not least, and this is the spaghetti western they did, The Grand Duel and Chioma. Two really cool spaghetti westerns. If you haven't got these, it's really cool stuff. Stuff that I do recommend you pick up. So there's a lot of Mill Creek, and that's not even getting into the box sets that they did, or the way that they've taken the role of becoming like pretty much the guardian of a lot of like TV stuff. You're seeing stuff like Airwolf and Knight Rider and Miami Vice, and a lot of big shows coming out now under the Mill Creek label. So they're doing some great stuff there. One of my favorite early kind of Western shows that I used to watch when I was younger, used to come on, like I think it was on Saturdays, was Wanted Dead or Alive. And I'm pretty sure Mill Creek, I'm pretty sure the editions that I got of Wanted Dead or Alive are from Mill Creek as well. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that comes out from them. So never bypass your local dollar stores because you think, oh, nothing's going to be there, nothing can be there. Those are pretty, most of those movies are pretty bare bones, but you can always find really cool stuff there. And to give an example of that, I have a few different things around here. So I'm not sure if you guys are a fan, but movies like The Master, for instance, was picked up for $2 at the dollar store. A lot of kind of cool horror films. I was looking at VHS 3 Viral, and I'm not a huge fan of VHS 3 Viral. I think I really do have to give it another look. When I first saw it, I found it very disappointing after what I thought was the excellent and the best in the series, which was VHS 2. Now, I did see the VHS Viral at a store for $3, and that's what's one at one of the dollar stores. So definitely thinking about picking that up to put into my horror collection. $3 for a horror Blu-ray, can't go wrong even if it is VHS Viral. Should I really give that one another chance, guys? Let me know. Some of you guys out there that are fans of VHS or fans of anthology, you guys know I've been watching a lot of anthology horror recently, especially a lot of the the cool Amicus stuff. So how do you feel about about the VHS series? How do you feel specifically about VHS Viral? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe it'll make me, it'll push me one way or another on whether I should actually go out and spend a whole $3 to pick up VHS Viral. I'll be right back. One of the questions I get asked, especially when I meet people in public that have seen my channel, can I push them towards anything that they may not have thought about, and it's something that may be underrated or something that got overlooked in all the movies that come out there. So what I decided to do is every once in a while, I'm going to take a little section here and I'm going to highlight some films and some sets that I think literally got overlooked in the shuffle, and that I think are actually extremely underrated. And I decided to start that tonight with just a couple releases here. Some actually that I think are really cool. You may not agree that they're overlooked or underrated, but I'm putting it out there. So first up is actually from Kino, and this one here is a box set of 5 films, and they did have a DVD one of different films, actually a different box set. But I think this one is definitely one that that kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. If you're a film noir fan, maybe you have it, but if you're not, you didn't really grab this set. And I do think it's one that if it comes on sale during a Kino sale, I think you should strongly consider looking at. If you like film noir, especially, that is Film Noir: The Dark Side of Cinema. It's 5 Blu-rays. It's actually a pretty cool price as well. So what we got on here is we got Witness to Murder with the one of the favorite film noir, Barbara Stanwyck. We have You Ran All the Way, Storm, Fear, A Bullet for Joey, and Big House USA. Again, 5 films. I don't think there's any features really at all on here. The features are really usually getting this box set at a great price, but I think it's one that maybe because this doesn't have a lot of features and like a huge booklet or anything like that, it's that's gotten overlooked. But I don't think it should. If you're a film noir fan, you owe yourself to have this in your collection. There are some really cool films in here. I bought this originally for Witness to Murder, which is a favorite of mine, and I really wanted to see Storm, Fear as well. So everything else was a bonus. But film noir, you guys know I'm a big fan of that, so I had to put a film noir in there. I'm gonna leave this one here for last. So next up is one from Shameless Films, and I don't know how this one, looking the way it is, has gone like under the radar. And maybe back in the day it didn't, but I think people have kind of forgotten about it. There's been other editions have come out. There's the Blue Undergrounds came out afterwards. But these are on these are DVD. This is a DVD release, but it's a really, really cool release. And that is, of course, the Bronx Warriors trilogy. This is a fun little series of Italian films. I love this case. If you can get this at a decent price, I really, really strongly do recommend it. And of course, the Shameless Screen Entertainment right there. And their stuff is numbered, and this is numbers. What are they now? So this is what it has here. We got 3 films, an anamorphic widescreen, on interview with director Enzo G. Castellari and his editor Gianfranco Gianfranco. We got introduction. The director introduces all these films. We got shameless film tracks for each of the films. Shameless rebuild, edit of the Escape from Bronx, believed to be the most complete version ever. Trailer gallery, collector's gallery, 20 shameless trailers. The Argent trailer park. Just some really cool stuff. You open it up, and it does have like the 3 releases in there. So we got the, of course, the Bronx Warriors, Escape from the Bronx, and the Escape from the Bronx. And actually, the other one, it's Fred Williams one, really. That is The New Barbarians. So just kind of cool, fun stuff that I do. I know some people may have talked about this, but I do still consider this to be pretty a pretty underrated set for what it is. And this is pretty cool looking. You don't hear it when people talk about, like, you know, the different cool sets and the different kind of, like, whether they be gimmicky or whatnot. I think Shameless did a really great job putting this together. This wasn't the only Shameless one that I had thought about putting in here, but it's one that I think right about now deserved a little bit more attention. Next up is a BFI. This is a single release, and it's the only single release in my out of the ones that I'm talking about tonight. And this is a fantastic little film that really, really needs, honestly, needs a lot more talk. And that is a movie called Deep End. I don't want to give too much. I did a review on this one before. I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen that review. If you haven't seen the movie Deep End, Deep End is a fantastic film. It starts out like it's going to be your regular coming of age type of film, and it goes in some really unique twists and turns. Some people have called this like a horror film or a thriller. It's a very different film, but it plays it so well. And not only that, there are some great features. The BFI did an amazing job with this one here. So we have here, starting at the making of Jerzy Skomowski's Deep End, which is a 74-minute feature-length documentary. It's fantastic, by the way. Deep into deleted scenes, actually, and a short documentary talking about scenes that never quite made the grade. And what's really cool is just this 10-minute short, stars Jane Asher, who was actually one of the stars of this film, called Careless Love. And it's by Francine Winham. And it's real. You will remember this short. It is a haunting short. If you have not seen Deep End, this film gets one of my highest recommendations. I seriously give this one a high recommendation. If you haven't seen it, check it out. This is not one of these films where when I talk about it, like it's so bad it's good type of thing. No, this actually is a really good film, and the short on this film here is chilling. The documentary is fantastic as well. Last but definitely not least is a director that I'm very fond of, but he's not for everyone. Much like Russ Meyer is a taste for some people and not for others, so is Tinto Brass. I am a huge fan of Tinto Brass. This is the Maestro of Erotic Cinema set. I was really hoping that he put out more of these. I would love to see more Tinto Brass sets come out. I know the Arrows put out a few Tinto Brass movies. On this one here, I can't show you the back. It has Cheeky, which is probably my favorite on this here set. Black Angel, which is kind of like a Nazi exploitation film. Private, which I kind of remember. And Mon Amour. One of these here is, I'm not sure if it's Private or Mon Amour. I think it's Mon Amour. That is like kind of like a anthology. Like there's different skits in it. And again, there's what they say is a documentary, but really what it is it's a long, like a pretty long, like an hour and a half long interview with Tinto Brass. And it's just a sit-down interview, him talking about his career and like a lot of the stuff that he's done. I find it really cool to like kind of put on in the background because it is more of a talking head type of thing. It's him like it's him talking, and is it subtitled? Is this subtitled? Is this one that I had to read? I'm trying to remember that. No, English language. Okay. I was trying to remember because I know sometimes I'll put on something and then half of it will be in like another language, and if I don't know the language, which I only know English and I'm trying to learn French, then I got to go and I start watching. And I like to put something in every once in a while that I can just like listen to in the background while I'm doing other things. So definitely worth checking out. There's a 40-page collectible booklet on here as well. And the booklet was so big that I couldn't get the case closed. So I actually put the booklet in its own spot. And I gotta remember where I put that now. And it's here right under somewhere actually. But definitely, if you can get this for a decent price, Tinto Brass, Maestro of Erotic Cinema, is definitely worth picking up. So there you go, guys. Those are 4 releases. The Film Noir set by Kino, the Bronx Warriors trilogy by Shameless Screen Entertainment, Deep End, again my highest recommendation on Deep End, and Tinto Brass and Maestro of Erotic Cinema. These are 4 releases that definitely are worth the pick up, worth to watch, and worth checking out. If you got any of these, or if you get any of these, please let me know in the comment section down below and tell me what you think of these films, what you thought of the sets. You can curse me if you don't like them, but I really think you will, especially Deep End. It's a really, really good, really different film, and if you are going to get that, it's usually pretty inexpensive, especially if you get. When I bought Deep End, it was during a BFI sale up in London, England, and I think I got it for like a couple pounds, maybe even a pound, just £1.50, something like that. but BFI have a few sales like that every once in a while. Deep End is worth checking out. Try to go in blind. That is the best thing I can say about the film. Try to go in blind and enjoy the film and see where it takes you. That's it's something that you can. It's one of those films that you talk about afterwards. So if you watch with somebody else, it's even better. Somebody you think is going to enjoy it, and have a conversation about what you think about where the film went, and what exactly you think some of it means. It's not too deep that you can't understand it, or doesn't get too heady. Look, it's me. If I can watch it, pretty much I watch. I watch all kinds of TV. I watch Horror House on Highway 5. So if I can watch this is above nobody's head. That's for sure. But again, Deep End is a fantastic film. All those films are, all those sets are definitely worth checking out. But out of all of them, check out Deep End for sure. And for me, I kind of feel like Tin Old Brass tonight. I really do. It's going to be an early night though. I got to work in the morning. So, new job. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks once again for joining me in my movie library. As you can tell, I'm losing my voice, and I got a lot of talking to do tomorrow, so that's not something that I can do. Have a great evening, guys, and I'll talk to you really soon, once again here in the movie library.